High-end art can be super expensive, but I have a hack that will make a printed picture look amazing. I found some public domain art online and had it printed on thick quality paper at Staples. I want to make this picture that I had printed look like an old oil painting, so I'm going to use my Mod Podge to mimic the brush strokes and create texture. The trick to doing this is following the pattern of the original picture. I want to do each section using a paintbrush that's about the size that the artist would have used to create the original piece. If the strokes in the pictures are swirly, then I want to swirl the Mod Podge. If they're straight, then I want to make them straight with the Mod Podge. Now that everything's covered, I'm going to let this dry and move on to my tapestry style frame. I had these two pieces of wood left over from another project, and they're going to be perfect to create the simple frame. They're a little weathered, so I'm going to use my sanding sponge to give them a quick sanding and lighten up their color. With the Mod Podge dry and the texture created, I want to trim off the sides of the paper. I want to put the curved edge of the wood facing the picture, and I'm going to hold them together with double-sided tape. I'm putting a long strip of the tape down on the top of the paper, right above the picture, and now I can stick the wood right onto it, pressing it down nice and hard so that it all holds together. I love how I can change up my art anytime I feel like it for just a few dollars.
Head over to your favorite art shop and pick up some pan pastels or soft pastels. Rub a pastel on a sheet of paper to create a little pile of dust. To bring my sweet pea back to its beautiful shade of bluish lilac, I ground down a blue and a purple pastel. Now gently brush the Q-tip across the petals of the flower. You can also spray with a fine hairspray or a fixative to finish the flowers, but I find pressing with my fingers is enough. With my frame, I had a matte border, so I needed to trim the backing paper to fit. Place your backing paper under the mat and mark the edges of the mat, which you will work inside. Now cut the backing paper approximately 1 inch larger all the way around. I wanted to have a piece of ribbon around the stems of the bouquet, so I cut a piece of ribbon and glued it down. Next, I placed the background greenery and glued it. After all the greenery was in place, I started with the flowers. Because my paper is white, I wanted to create a darker background so that you could see the white flowers that I'll be adding later. I glued down those beautiful sweet peas that we color intensified earlier. Where there was some blank spaces, I added in some of the flowers without the stems. Next, I layered in the white larkspur. Lastly, I added in a top layer of our pretty sweet peas to give it depth, with some of the flowers in the front, some in the middle, and some in the back. You could also add more greenery in, but I wanted mine to be a simple bouquet. When I started to add more flowers, it just got too cluttered for my liking. I didn't have as many stems sticking out of the bottom, so I broke a sweet pea stem into pieces and glued it where the bottom of the bouquet would be. Place the matte border on top of your finished bouquet so that the bouquet shows through the middle. Add pieces of tape on the back of the border to keep your finished bouquet in place. Place the cardboard backer of the frame on top and then secure tightly all the way around your frame. I live in an extremely dry climate, and my flowers are fine left this way. In some areas, you will need to completely seal the frame to keep the moisture out. Look how beautiful it turned out. What a wonderful way to preserve the beautiful blooms from your garden. Now let's style it with a mirror, some candles, and some pretty tulle with pearls underneath. This would be perfect as a gift for the bride, or just as spring or summer decor in your own home.
Did you know those natural fiber placemats you can find at so many home stores can be used for more than just your dining room table? And I'm going to take my mats and I'm going to adhere the adhesive hangers to the back. Then we're going to turn them over. And once our glue gun is heated, we're going to use it to attach the mirrors to the front of the placemats. You're going to attach those mirrors to the center of your placemat or placemats, depending on however many you're using, and then let them cool. Second, you're going to grab some test tubes. I decided to use 3 test tubes, so I did use hot glue to adhere these as well. I have also seen it done with a little fishing line that is drawn around it and tied to the back, but my test tubes didn't have any kind of a lip, so I went ahead and used hot glue. Once you have marked your spot for all of your mats, go ahead and remove the paper layer and press that back adhesive to your wall. You want to use a firm pressure to make sure that it really sticks. Once they're attached, fill your little test tubes with water. Add a few seasonal flowers. We still had some zinnias left in the garden, and voila, you have some new wall decor that literally took 20 minutes to make. What a win!
I picked up this gold plastic tray at Walmart for just over $1. Let's find a picture that we want to use for this tray. I'm going to take a picture of my daughter here. Once you have that picture taken, upload it to your computer and print it out on a full-size piece of paper. A few tips for taking that photo. You want to make sure that if your child has longer hair, it's pulled up. You really want to see the silhouette of their face and all of their different features. Print it out on copy paper. The quality doesn't matter too much. Now we're going to take that piece of paper and use some tape or glue to put it on a piece of black cardstock. Once that's all together, we are going to carefully cut around the silhouette of the face. Again, you can do this with a pet or anything you want. Once everything is cut out, you can flip it over and there you have this beautiful silhouette of your child. Now on that plastic tray, you can paint this with white paint, but paint doesn't always stick to plastic very well. So I'm going to cut out a big white circle that's going to fit right in the middle of this tray. I'm going to use a tape roller to apply that white circle to the tray. Take that black cardstock silhouette you have, use the tape runner again to secure it to the middle of the tray. And you have a beautiful metallic frame around a silhouette of your child. These are really lightweight, so you can use command picture hanging strips to hang them up. I'm displaying mine at the top of my landing right outside my girl's bedroom. It's a really fun way to decorate, really inexpensive as well. I hope you found this project inspiring and you're ready to go create silhouette wall hanging of your children, grandchildren, or pets. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Grab a gold curtain rod to make this trendy wall decor for a fraction of the cost. I printed some free vintage landscape prints online and placed them into thrifted picture frames. I used pliers to shape wire into S hooks. I recruited the tallest person in my home to hang the curtain rod. I'd recommend using drywall anchors or securing it into studs to make it more secure. Once the towel rod was level, I placed a hook with gold chain on it. I added 2 more hooks with chain at slightly different lengths. I attached my vintage prints at varying heights to the chain using hot glue. Now I have a super trendy chain picture hanger for a lot less. I hope this inspired you to create your hanging picture frame decor with a curtain rod.